Hello everyone and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Hellick. As many predicted, the election of 2020 is turning out to be like none other, with a record number of voters voting early or mailing in absentee ballots, which means there are still several races as we head into the weekend after Election Day that are yet to be decided.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik.
More than 50,000 absentee ballots in New York's 21st congressional district race haven't been counted yet. But just before midnight on Tuesday, election night, North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik said she had more than enough votes to declare victory.
I am so overwhelmed. But what is important tonight is this is your congressional seat, the people's seat. And I am so proud to serve as the voice and the vote for the people of New York's 21st Congressional District. I know that every day that I do my job, I'm working on behalf of you, listening to your concerns, bringing your issues, and making sure that we have a seat at the highest level in Washington, D.C., whether that's working with the President of the United States or delivering results in the United States Congress. This has been the toughest race that I've ever run, and I wanted to thank you all for the overwhelming vote of support. We are going to sweep all 12 counties. On behalf of all of the small businesses that I've visited, all of our local family farms, my work for seniors, our military families, and our veterans, you will have no greater advocate in Congress. I am going to continue putting my all 110%.
As of election night, Congresswoman Stefanik had nearly doubled her margin of 2 years ago over challenger Tedrick Cobb. And while those thousands of absentee ballots are still waiting to be counted, with such a huge lead, Cobb conceded the race early Wednesday in her hometown of Canton.
I know that there are still ballots out there left to be counted, and I want you to know that these votes matter. Every voice in this election matters, and we look forward to certifying the results of this race in the coming weeks. But friends, we know that there just are not enough ballots out there for us to get over the finish line.
Cobb told North Country Public Radio that it's unlikely she would run for Congress a third time. Back at the Republican rally in Glens Falls on election night, Elise Stefanik promised to go back to work in Washington for her district covering 12 counties across the North Country, one of the largest in the nation.
You said this was the toughest race that you've run yet. How satisfying is this?
It's incredibly satisfying. I'm so grateful and humbled for the support of the voters in this district. But the voters spoke overwhelmingly tonight, and as I have talked about, this was a 4-year campaign in the sense that this was a 2018 vote and a 2020 vote, and we won big, and I'm very grateful to all of the voters in the district, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, for their confidence in me and their trust in me to serve as their hardworking member of Congress.
Surprised by the margin?
You know, I'm grateful to the margin. We always felt pretty good going into Election Day, but you never know what's going to happen. I'm really grateful for how large the margin is.
In another key race, Republican Dan Stec appears to have won a seat in the New York State Senate. Stec, a 4-term Assemblyman from Queensbury, is leading Clinton County Treasurer Kimberly Davis by about a 2-to-1 margin. During his speech on election night in Glens Falls, Stec said, "There's a lot of work to do in Albany."
We have a lot of work ahead of us in the months to come from getting our economy back on track to making our neighborhoods more safe and more affordable. I won't lie, it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of hard work, planning, dedication, and sacrifice that's going to come with that to get our region, our state where it needs to be. And I want to thank everyone in this room for trusting me to accomplish that.
Dan Stec said he is humbled to follow in the steps of 2 legendary North Country political leaders, former Senator Ron Stafford from Plattsburgh and Betty Little from Queensbury, who after 25 years in the New York State Legislature is retiring at the end of the year.
Following in the footsteps of Senator Little and before her Senator Stafford. I'm 51 years old. My entire life, this Senate seat has been held by 2 individuals. So I'm mindful of that, I'm humbled by it, and I'm motivated by it. You know, I have 2 great legends of service that I want to try to live up to.
And in the race to replace Dan Stec in the New York State Assembly, Republican Matt Simpson, who for the past 7 years has been the supervisor in the town of Horicon, appears to have defeated Democrat Claudia Bramer, a Washington County supervisor from Glens Falls, in the 114th district. Simpson was leading on election night with more than 60% of the vote. And in the city of Plattsburgh, Republican Scott Beebe is leading Democrat Chris Rosenquist in the mayoral race by just shy of 300 votes, with more than 2,200 absentee ballots still to be counted. Rosenquist upset current Mayor Colin Reed in the Democratic primary this past June to take on Beebe, who is a retired police officer. The Clinton County Board of Elections said this week it will begin counting absentee ballots on Monday, November 9th, to allow for ballots that are still in the mail to arrive.